finances. When it comes to personal finances and saving for the future, it seems that age matters. Experts say Gen Z Americans and their relationship with money is a complicated one.
Recent data shows that our nation's youngest working adults aren't really saving. And that could be a problem down the road. So Ferguson Wellman's Mary Lago joins us live with some insights into Gen Z and how they can better plan for their future. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, so assuming that AI doesn't take us all out, Gen Z is now the youngest, to be in the workforce. This is the generation between 1997 and 2012. So they're just getting started. They're thinking they got a lot of time ahead till retirement. But what particular challenges does this group need to be aware of as they come into adulthood?
Well, sure. The Zoomers have certainly had a number of economic hurdles. If you think about it, many have taken on significant student loan debt in a time of low interest rates. And now with this rising interest rate environment, those payments have really increased. Also, a number of them coming out of college during the COVID-19 pandemic, trying to embark on a career, and maybe facing things that other generations haven't faced, like trying to get a job during this more remote work environment. They would also be shaped by perhaps some of their parents' experiences with more traditional investments like the stock market or real estate during the Great Recession of 2008. And so they might be tempted to step into some of those riskier investments like cryptocurrencies and day trading. And once you get burned by some of those experiences, it may not feel as exciting to save for the future anymore.
Yeah, you mentioned parents and grandparents of Gen Zers. Assuming that they'll listen to you, what advice should they give someone in their 20s right now when it comes to saving and investing?
Well, you just touched on an important one. Start by listening because their values are a little bit different. Many of them are focused on saving and spending on experiences more than saving for retirement. And so I think acknowledging some of those goals is important, but perhaps also sharing some personal stories of successes and failures. For example, something like, when I was a kid, I just had to have that Mustang. So I, insisted on buying it. But if I had saved for 2 years first, it would have cost me half as much because I wouldn't have paid so much in interest. Or, I managed to save some money and use it as a down payment on a home. That was the home your mom was born in. Maybe I wish I'd invested it in the market rather than leaving it in a checking account, but hey, at least I got started. So sharing some perspective of incremental changes. What's the African proverb? A long journey begins with a single step. And so I think as young people are getting started, reinforcing that even if you can just afford $50 or $100 a month, starting to build that nest egg is important, and then grow those savings when you get a raise or things like that. But getting started is really important.
Yeah, well, and I like the approach too of sharing some personal experience there and not just saying you should be saving more, bringing some of that emotion into it. But at the same time, there is so much emotion and psychology around money. So what are some things that maybe parents want to be aware of regarding their relationship with money, especially when they're having those conversations with their kids?
Sure. If any of us had an easier relationship with money, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, and there's a growing study and acknowledgement of how much our emotions can impact our financial decisions called behavioral finance. And there are a number of things that we see out of this. I mean, an easy one that we're seeing just very dominant with Gen Zers right now is avoidance. If it's not good news, I'm just going to ignore it. So if my credit card bill is too high, maybe I just won't pay it, and then I'm paying interest and late fees. Another common emotion for investors as a whole would be we really want to buy into things that look really positive, and we want to sell out of them when they look negative. Well, that means we're buying high and selling low, and that is not good investment advice. You want to buy low and sell high. So recognizing some of how our emotions can play into things so that we can identify it and not feed those things can be really important.
Yeah, for a lot of us, we had forced habits in terms of 401ks. Maybe you had a IRA, Roth IRA. This was money that just taken out of our accounts. But with today's economy, that's a little more difficult for Gen Zers to do, especially in the gig economy and that type of thing, isn't it?
Well, there are actually a growing number of rules that allow employers to withhold money for retirement as a default. So there's something working in our favor. But I think it is harder to think in terms of savings when spending is so darn easy. Gen Zers, I mean, it's never been easier to just instantly click and have food delivered or buy electronics and to spend money. And that really has led some Gen Zers to overspend. We're seeing an increase in some of those credit card spending rates. And as interest rates go up, that gets really tough to absorb.
Mary, real quick before we go, I just want to ask, what do you think is a good investment? What kinds of things should Gen Z be investing in right now?
Yes, the keys, there's a few keys. You want to be diversified. So things like a broad index, like the S&P 500, is a good old traditional investment that will serve folks for the long term. And if you assume roughly a 10% return on the stock market over extended periods of time, your money is going to double every 7 years. So you think about investing from age 20 to 50. You could have a 16 times growth on that investment. So what you want to make sure of is that it's well diversified and something that you can continue to add to in small increments.
Well, Mary, thank you very much for a very important topic and some advice for our Gen Zers out there. We appreciate you being here.
My pleasure. Have a great rest of the day with all this sunshine.
You too. And for more financial advice and money management tips, check out our previous Wallet Wednesdays on coin.com. Click on AM Extra.